Hello and welcome to another edition of the Stogie Review video review. As you can see from the image on my right or my left, I'm not quite sure which is which just yet, but there's a familiar face, Tom Adcock from Tom Cigars, as well as the Ed and Tom Show. We're here smoking a cigar that Tom picked up at one of Ed's local events. So, Tom, why don't you just jump right on in, tell us a little bit about the cigar, and we'll get this thing lit up and get things underway.
Cool. What's up, everybody? We're doing the 10 Años from Esteban Carreras. It looks like this is a Robusto 5x50, I assume, somewhere around there, box press. I don't know how well my webcam will pick it up, but according to their website, it's 10-year-old Nicaraguan wrapper, Nicaraguan binder and filler, and they claim it's medium to full-bodied. The price point, I believe, is around, it's in between $7 and $8. So, you know, it's a little expensive for a Robusto, but it's, you know, pretty band. The wrapper looks pretty good. Physically, it looks good. And these were giveaway cigars at the Esteban Carreras event Ed had maybe a couple weeks ago. They were giving these away if you bought 3 cigars or whatever, you know, something of that nature. So I ended up picking up quite a few of these. And that's really all I got. I don't know if you want to get into the physical aspects of this thing. Well,
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking over mine. Mine's a little mottled. It's got several sort of dark blotchy spots to it. You know, it doesn't look bad. It just has a little bit of a rugged appearance to it. Big, humongous band, which from smoking the previous sample, I came to the realization it's actually 2 bands that make up this really big, like billboard on the cigar. But it really doesn't look bad. It's a nice, tasteful looking band. It's not over the top. You know, you don't have like flashy gold going on. It's I don't know. I like it. It looks pretty cool, actually.
exactly. Kind of laid back.
You know, I'm just looking over. It looks very well constructed, very neat. It's just got sort of a rugged appearance to it, and really that's the only thing I'm seeing that's really drawing my attention. Is just that sort of splotchy color.
Right. Yeah, it's got kind of it's a little mushy if you squeeze it. You can kind of find softer spots and harder spots, but I don't think it's
I think
to be concerned.
Yeah, I think that may be the nature of the beast with box press cigars, being that you know, from what I understand, they're just underfilled and then sort of squashed to shape. So you're bound to find, you know, some soft spots just because you know they're squashing the cigar, and it's bound to happen.
Exactly. It smells pretty good too. The aroma's pretty good off the wrapper. And this is usually where Ed and I will disagree when we start our reviews as to what it smells like. So I'm kind of gun shy about giving an opinion.
Mine's kind of aromatic, but I really don't know what that smell is. It's kind of interesting though.
Yeah. It always leans towards like it smells like a horse barn or something. And I'm always like it smells woody or something.
I don't know. This one actually has sort of a sweet-like smell to it.
Yeah. I agree totally. It's good. It's pleasant, whatever it is. It definitely has a sweet tinge to it. But yeah, physically it looks good to me. I mean, I'm happy with it the way it looks and feels and all that stuff.
I clipped mine to check the pre-light draw. Mine, I'm not sure how yours is, but both of my samples have been very loose. It's kind of nerve-wracking when I find them this loose. I'm almost afraid that I'm going to suck, you know, heat right through the cigar and it's going to get ultra hot. But this one is very loose.
Mine's the same. It's very free.
Another thing, I did the same thing on this cigar as I did with the first one I smoked, which was kind of irritating. As I pulled the cigar away from my mouth, my lip got caught on the cap and it sort of popped free. So I can actually, I can lift the cap up off of the cigar and put it back down. It hasn't ripped. But I can pick it up and replace it again.
Like one piece. That's happened to me on many cigars. I keep a bottle of this around. It's vegetable glue, which you know how to make, so it doesn't matter. But for such an occasion, it comes in handy. But the pre-light draw tastes pretty good. It's kind of sweet, like the smell. It's pretty good. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it almost has like a tea-like flavor to it. It's got I don't know, like a floral kind of sweetness to it.
Right.
It's
I
pretty
don't know if
interesting.
I probably wouldn't have thought of that, but I'll go with it. You want to spark them up?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Cool. And just for the record, I'm pairing up with water and the usual Zycar scissors. So, the usual.
Yeah, actually, my I don't know where my scissors are. They're around here somewhere. I reached for my backup cutter, my polio,
I
and
got it.
I've got just some water to go with this one.
Standard reviewing material here. Water. Oh, same thing happened to me that you just talking about.
What's that? The cap sort of lifting off.
Yeah, I don't know if the camera. Yeah, well, it may catch it a little bit,
Yeah, I can see it.
but you can see where you could just lift it off as like a whole piece. So I'm gonna, since I really that kind of stuff gets on my nerves, I'm gonna try to repair it.
I got mine. Mine is lifting off as well.
I basically lifted up that little piece of cap and I'm brushing some glue underneath it, and then I'm just kind of placing it back down, doing a little. I don't remember this happening on this particular cigar to me, but it's happening this time. So hopefully my repair job holds up.
You know that the opening draw's got a nice bit of bite to it. Push some smoke through my sinuses, and it's kind of aggressive, but it's not over the top. It is, at least for me, it feels aggressive, but it's not too much. I kind of like it.
Yeah, it kind of has a pay attention to me kind of feel to it. It's I like it too, actually. I kind of like when they start off to where you have to notice it. But I guess I can appreciate the ramping up routine as well of other cigars.
Yeah, it kind of varies. Sometimes I like when they start out really bold and then settle back down and then pick back up again later on. I like that really bold, crisp start in some of the cigars, and this is one of them. I like that boldness.
Absolutely.
So,
Like
where'd you hear about Esteban Carrera? Anyhow, it's a brand that I just recently heard about on. I was listening to Bob and Dale from Dogwatch Cigar Radio, and they were talking about the Esteban Carrera line, and that was the first I heard about him, and that was fairly recently, maybe a couple of months ago at most.
it might be about how long I've heard of them for. I think well, actually, I know Ed turned me on to him. He's a big fan of their other line, the Habano, I believe it's called, because that one's a lot more fuller bodied than this. So Ed's drawn to that immediately. So that's where I heard it from. And then this event, the past event, obviously I was smoking a lot of them, and that's pretty much my story with them. I've never heard of them other than at Ed's shop, and everybody seems to like them.
All right, so I don't know. Let's kick it off. Well, what are your first impressions of the cigar so far? And then we'll just get a brief first impression, and then we'll take a quick break. We'll come back, and then we'll do a nice regular standard first third look at it.
Gotcha. Well, besides that, I mean, there's a little peppery bite through the nose there. I'm going to take a. I like that it's a. You can feel it right in your sinus here. It's really nice. Not strong pepper, but there's also another like sweet kind of flavor going on that you can taste along with it. It's hard for me to explain this early in the game, I guess. I haven't smoked one of these in about a week either, so I'm completely unprepared as usual for reviewing a cigar. So I'm gonna throw it to you, man.
I definitely agree about that pepperiness. The cigar just seems very aggressive through the sinuses. If you haven't retro had a lot of smoke before, this might be the one that gets you kind of teary eyed and gives you that sinus pressure feeling. There's quite a bit of heft to the smoke, and it's personally I like it. It feels kind of thick on the mouth. I'm getting that sort of syrupy like texture. And the flavor, as far as the flavor goes, I'm getting almost like a sweet leathery tone or a sweet leathery flavor that's really drawn out, and it's very interesting. As a first impression, quick glance at this cigar, I think it's going very well. It's very interesting, at least to start. We've obviously got a long way to go yet to see where the cigar is going to go, but it's got my attention so far, and I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more. It seems like I always have trouble picking out leathery flavors, so maybe that's what my dilemma is here. That's like a flavor I constantly have problems getting, and you'll never hear me talk about it in reviews because of that. So,
All right, well, we're back, and from the looks of it, we've smoked a ton of the cigar, but actually, I don't think we have. I just think it's an optical illusion because of just how big the band is. If I had a quarter here, I'd hold it up to the band or something, but it's pretty large, and it takes up a lot of real estate. I'm really not paying much attention to how long we've been smoking. I think we may have gotten started half an hour ago at most. And this really seems to be burning pretty fast. I got the sudden urge to touch it up once so far. The burn light wasn't all that bad, but I just got that urge that I wanted to fix it. The ash has been fairly light in color, pretty strong, and overall it's smoking pretty well. All of the draw is kind of loose, or is actually pretty loose. And it's really kind of forcing me to try to slow down even more. What do you think, Tom?
couldn't agree more. The burn has been perfect. I don't know if it matters to look there, but yeah, we've been going about a half hour. Construction-wise, I have no real complaints. The loose draw, I guess, is kind of catching me off guard here. But my little cap fix here did stay, so it proves that it's always good to have some glue around if you don't want to trash your cigar.
Yeah, I didn't have any handy. I've just kind of been applying a little bit of force and rolling it in my mouth to try to press it back down. So far, it's been working. It hasn't popped free yet.
I'm lazy. I just bought this little thing from Ed a while back. It's like a $5 whatever vegetable glue with no taste or anything. It's the same stuff you make, I'm sure. But I'm just too lazy, and it comes with a cool little brush. But it's good for just such an occasion. But yeah, I mean, I can't add anything more construction-wise. I mean, I have really nothing more to add. I didn't correct mine. It's been within my tolerance. It's been pretty straight.
What do you think about the flavor?
The flavor's been good. I'm gonna say it's medium-bodied. It kind of has like a sweet. I'm perceiving it as like a sweet, almost like a caramelly mocha type of thing going on. Let me, yeah, kind of like a thick. I say caramel because of maybe the texture. It's like just kind of thick, like a thick smoke feel in the mouth and sinuses, and it's good. And I don't really get a lot of as much pepper. Maybe it might have smoothed out a little bit.
Yeah, I've been passing a fair amount of smoke through my nose, and I think it has smoothed out a little bit. It doesn't seem as aggressive as it was earlier.
Yeah, it's still there. I mean, it lets you know it's there, but it seems to be more of a sweetness kind of thing. That's what I'm perceiving it as anyway. So I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are on it.
I think it's medium to full bodied. I'm getting a nice thick sensation. That caramel like texture is I think it's spot on. I mean, there are times when I feel like I'm struggling just to talk because of how thick it feels on the mouth. And that's why I think I'm leaning a little more towards medium to full as opposed to medium bodied. I think it's pretty smooth. I mean, it's a little aggressive through the sinuses, but I don't think it's over the top. And it's not harsh either. It's not making my eyes water. The resting smoke isn't making me choke or anything. It's not irritating the eyes. It's been kind of easygoing. And the flavors, I'm getting sort of a sweetness to it, which is interesting. It's just a sweet tobacco flavor that's very nice. But I'm getting sort of a leather-ish kind of flavor that's kind of secondary, just comes on after you expel the smoke and whatnot. I think it's pretty complex. It's pretty interesting, and so far I'm liking it.
That's cool. Yeah, that brings up something I mentioned before. Kind of after you get past the upfront thick caramelly type sweet flavors with the pepper or sweet spice even, I perceive it as a like a almost like a mild earthy like undertone way in the background, and you're perceiving it as a leathery thing. So that's probably where our perceptions differ. But I still like it, and I removed my secondary ban.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that too. I've got a little bit of a burn issue going, which I think I'm gonna have to touch up. I'm almost touching the
Oh
secondary
yeah,
band, and yet on the other side, I've got a little ways to go yet.
I would have correct. Yeah, that would drive me nuts too. So, but yeah, overall, man, it's kind of an easy cigar, I guess, for me. It's easy to smoke. I don't know how like a new smoker would feel about it, but I'm digging it.
Where do you think this would fit in your day?
I could honestly smoke it. I could see myself smoking it around lunchtime or even after. Like it's about 4:30 ish now, and it seems to be a good fit. I mean, I'm enjoying it. It doesn't seem like an awkward. How sometimes you have a cigar, you're like, I don't. Maybe I shouldn't have lit this now.
Oh yeah, plenty of times.
So, but I could even see myself smoking this, in the morning, like with coffee, even. But that's just me. Sometimes I get after hanging out with Ed for so long and being exposed to all these full body cigars, they're almost nothing to me now. It's so I don't. I mean, I still prefer a mild Connecticut shade cigar in the morning, but sometimes I don't care. I just go for the full bodied stuff or a medium.
Yeah,
So, but
I think I would put this in the same place. Ideally, I think I would smoke this around lunchtime. Actually, and I could even do this before lunch. I think, not like a breakfast cigar, but I think I could smoke this before I got something in my stomach and not feel ill because of it. It doesn't seem to have an overly high nicotine content, and it's really not, you know, giving me any ill feelings, or I don't perceive it would, anyhow.
no, not at all. I've had nothing to eat all day, and I'm perfectly fine. And I'm actually extremely hungry, and I got no no pains going here, no lightheadedness, none of that stuff.
All right,
So
so
I'm
let's
good to go.
so unless you got anything else to add, let's take a break. Come back one more. Well, I don't know. As fast as this thing's going, we may be back one more time just to wrap up the cigar.
This is true. Yeah, we'll play it by ear.
All right, well, we're back, and these cigars are burning so fast that it's looking like this is going to be the wrap up of the cigar. So you got first half, and I guess now you'll have the second half. But these really have been burning tremendously fast, and it's kind of a surprise. And I mentioned I was having a little bit of trouble with the cap, and I have that here for you. It actually popped off, and there she goes.
I guess it did go on you. My my patch job held up.
Yeah, now I'm getting a little bit of lifting going on. Where the actual wrapper is. Since the cap is off, now the cigar wants to unwind on me. It hasn't been terrible, but it's definitely getting annoying. If I had some glue handy, I'd fix it up real quick. Aside from that, I really haven't had a whole lot of construction issues with it. The burn gets kind of finicky every once in a while, needs a little correction, but it hasn't been too bad. The ash has been pretty strong. Actually, you can see where I had to touch it up on the back side where the ash is kind of funky. But all in all, it hasn't been too bad. The draw has been very loose, and I think that's why the cigar is burning so fast. But, construction-wise, I don't think it was terrible, except for the cap issue, of course.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, that's my only complaint was the weird cap issue. My burn's been going better than yours, but now you mentioned this before we came on about it may be due to the cigar heating up from the loose draw, but I kind of can get to see where you get like a little bitterness, maybe like a, I don't know if I can explain it, but it's like right on your tongue. It's weird.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of harshness, and I think it's because the cigar's warming up, and even now, I mean, it's even shorter than when we were talking off camera about it, and I'm still getting that harshness, and I definitely think it's because the draw is so loose. It heats up too fast.
I agree. You picked it up before I did it. I just like now started noticing it, and it could have just been me not noticing. But I mean, overall though, I liked it. I mean, as a cigar as a whole, I liked it. You know, it's just not a number.
What did you think about the consistency? I mean, I haven't seen much variation in terms of flavor from that first half until now.
No, I haven't either. It's been that same like thick, caramelly type of, almost mocha type of thing going on. And that kind of stuck around. It didn't change a whole lot. Like a spice through the nose. I don't know if I would even call it a pepper anymore, but that definite spice through the nose. Uh, I don't even know if I can say I noticed that slight earthy undertone or leathery as you called it. But I mean, I guess it hasn't changed a lot. It's fairly complex, but that doesn't change a lot. If that isn't contradictory to itself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still getting that sort of sweet flavor. The pre-light had sort of almost like a floral tea-like flavor. That really didn't come through when the cigar was lit. It was more of just a natural sweet tobacco flavor, and that's still carrying through. I'm not getting nearly as much of that leatherish sort of flavor as I was before. It's not quite as aggressive through the sinus as it was earlier. So it seems to be smoothing out even more, even though it's turning a little harsh from the heat. And that's still, even that slight bit of harshness, it really isn't irritating my sinuses or anything like that. And as I mentioned before in one of these reviews, I tend to blow a lot of smoke through my sinuses. Not a lot of volume at one time, just probably a good 90 to 95% of the puffs I take of the cigar go through my sinuses. So I kind of warm up to a lot of these cigars where they may be a little overwhelming at first with the strength through the sinuses, and then I just kind of get used to it. So perhaps that could be what the issue is here, where I've just become accustomed to the harshness or just the strength coming through the sinuses, or the aggressiveness, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I broke out the Carlito Stogie number. But that's just for the sake of the review. But yeah, I mean, it's not real harsh for me. It's just kind of like a weird bitter. But if you take small, I find if you sip the cigar, it seems to go a little better as far as harshness or bitterness or anything like that. Anything unpleasant. It's if you really just kind of sip it and not try to pass a lot of smoke around like you normally would. I think I'm getting better results doing that method. But like I said, overall, I've smoked a few of these. They're pretty good. I like them. I don't know if I would go out and seek them, make a big effort to find them, but they're pretty good.
Do you remember what you said the price point on these were?
I think they're
$6 something, maybe? Is that what you said?
I want to say they were between 7 and 8. Like $7.50. I remember, if I remember correctly, I said they were a little high for my liking.
Actually, yeah, I actually still have the selfie. I haven't tossed it. It's $7.50 for I guess it's a Robusto equivalent.
Right.
That's I'm guessing 50 by 5. It's 5 inches long. It's square box pressed, so it's probably a 50 by 5 Robusto equivalent. What do you think as far as value is concerned? Do you think it's worth the $7.50?
I don't know with the S-chip thing going on how much it would cost before that, but I mean it seems a little high for, at least I'm perceiving it to be a little bit high for a Robusto, like in a quick smoke like that. We've been smoking about an hour and 15 minutes maybe, something like that. So I don't know. I guess it's not horrible. I mean, it's not a ripoff. I mean, it's pleasant. I don't know. I have mixed feelings. I mean, on the one hand, it seems high, and I don't like that, but it's an okay cigar, and it's not like a blatant ripoff. $10,
Yeah,
$15 haircut.
I think it's a little high too. I don't know that I'd go searching these out. I mean, it's a couple of dollars more than I traditionally pay for a Robusto, and I think there's one of those hurdles that some companies are facing, or at least newer boutique companies, where they're charging, you know, their cigars are starting at $7 and they're going up, and even though you can sort of equate it to a craft beer, as, of course, being more expensive than a macro brew. You've got the same thing going on here. The lesser available cigar is going to be a little bit more expensive. They're not buying as much tobacco. The cost of the materials is higher and things like that. But I really think that some of these higher price points are going to kill some of these boutique manufacturers. And I mean, $7.50. I don't know that I could justify spending that much on a Robusto.
Nah, probably not. I mean, I think it's worth trying. I mean, I could see somebody really liking it. I mean, it's not by any means a bad cigar. It's so. I mean, I'm glad I tried it. And I think I have a couple more left. I'm going to smoke them, and I'll probably like them. But of course, I got a lot for free at the event. But
Yeah, definitely enjoyed it. Glad I got to smoke it. I just don't know that I could. When I'm standing there looking at the cigars in the shop, I don't know that I'd pick this up when I could pick up something, for a couple bucks less.
Probably not. I mean, you could go for like a Perdomo, champagne or something that is pretty good too. So I don't know, whatever. I mean, I like it. It's the Habano from these guys is, if I recall, a bit slower of a burner. It's not a box press, and a bit more power, but I like it. I can't add too much more to it than that. It's a decent cigar, and I just put mine out.
Well, yep. I think that about does it for the Esteban Carrera. What is it? 10 años.
10 años. Yep.
So in the meantime, definitely check out tomcigars.com. And until next time, happy smoking.
Good times.